Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining this Cloud Computing with GCP free webinar as part of our series, which we try to bring monthly, one webinar at least, if not more. And today's webinar is again brought to you by bigdatatrunk, which is a professional services company. Myself, Tanya, both are part of the organization. We provide technology and soft skills training in online technology, as well as interpersonal and other business skills as well. In person and in corporates, a lot of that has become remote, virtually remote instructor-led trainings. We have e-learnings in several other formats. We do a lot of upskillings and boot camps for large corporations. Our focus has been more and more corporates lately for the last several years, and we proud to be serving Fortune 500 companies. Almost great to have leaders in global banking, healthcare, several sectors where we have the top leaders which we are able to serve and provide different trainings. Today's training actually is part of there's a lot of generative AI training. This is not today's topic, but we have cloud computing, which is another top popular area. And there are several courses which we have in cloud computing, which we offer to public as well as the mostly corporate programs as well. So today's topic is we are going to switch over to cloud computing. It's to get started, but we will start touching GCP, Google Cloud Platform, and build from there. Today's instructor is Tanya with me. Tanya is part of our team and does a lot of cloud and data visualizations and several different programs, trainings, as well as work in projects. So it's great to have her present this topic. I'm going to stop sharing and pass it to Tanya.
Well, thank you, Raju, for sharing the pass on me. I welcome everyone to this webinar of cloud computing with GCP. And in this webinar, majorly, we'll talk about that, what is cloud computing and how we do cloud computing with GCP. Of course, we know a lot of, different cloud service providers are there, Amazon, where you have got IBM, but why to pick Google Cloud here? We'll talk about these different aspects in this session. So let's just move forward towards the very first and important thing, that the agenda, what we are going to do in this quick webinar session. The very first thing is about the cloud computing. As I said, the basic introduction about cloud computing. What is cloud computing? Some really important services of cloud computing. Then we will move forward towards that GCP. What is Google Cloud Platform? How does it look like? How we work on this platform? And what different aspects are there, how we can perform different labs, and in fact we can go forward towards courses too. We can learn courses. Some courses are free, some courses does have subscription badges, so that we look forward towards everything in detail. Next thing, we have the global network. Of course, Google has 40% of the network in the whole network of the cloud computing. So we'll cover that particular part also. We'll see different regions are there. And of course, the last one is about the storage. So storage is a really vast impact of your Google Cloud here. It actually maintains your big data, your AI storages, your BigQuery. A lot of storage options are available in Google Cloud. So we look forward towards all these aspects one by one. So let's just first get started with the very first question. What is cloud computing? So what do you guys think that, how does, you think that cloud computing is? So you can put your things on chat also. But yeah, according to me, the cloud is something which makes your work much more easier, by managing each and every aspect of yours over the cloud, right? So let's just discuss this thing in more depth, that what is cloud computing. See, whenever I am maintaining my things over the cloud. So for this, let's just take one example. So I've got two companies. One is A company, one is B company, right? Now, A company is working on premises. On premises means each and everything is maintained by their own. Let's say the operating systems, the storage, the network, the compute engines, everything is maintained by their own. They have their different teams, the some team is managing their servers, someone is managing their network, some team is managing their storage. But what happens in cloud? Why people go for cloud? In cloud, generally, everything is maintained by the cloud service provider. So here, as I said, A is the organization who is maintaining everything by their own, but there is B organization who is managing everything with the help of cloud service provider. So I am not maintaining, let's say I am the B organization, I am not maintaining my services, let's say your virtual desktops, your storage, your applications, your server, you are not maintaining at your premises. You are asking cloud service provider to pay services to you, right? You are buying services from cloud service provider, and that's it. It just your work is pretty much easier to do. So that's why people move forward towards cloud computing. It's an easy and pay as you go model. So whatever services you are buying, in a layman example, you go to a superstore. Let's say you want, some veggies for your house. You want some groceries. So you go to your superstore and then you buy the things. Similar thing happens in cloud computing. You go to a service provider, you ask for your thing. Let's say the operating system, the storage, the virtual machines, and then you get those services only, right? So that's the one thing about the cloud computing, which is pretty much interesting. And another thing, the benefits, as I've just discussed, the first thing is about scalability and flexible. Of course, cloud is very scalable. Why? So let's say today, you are using in your organization, you are using 50 virtual machines, right? But on tomorrow, you might not require those 50 services, right? So let's say you want to decrease your virtual machines from 50, you want to go to 25. It's easily available in in cloud services. Here it is highly flexible and scalable. And of course, it's easy to use, click and you are good to go with the things. And highly reliable and secure networks are there. So if you are using cloud, your data is within the cloud. Nobody is invading and nobody can invade your data. That's the major impact of cloud service provider right now. And Google comes up, in a very big number to maintain your data in a secure manner. And of course, it supports large organization. It's highly cost effective. As when you are building something, then when you are using, cloud service provider, they won't cost you much because of course if you are maintaining everything at your own at your premises, you need to manage everything, so a lot of cost it brings to you. But here in cloud, it's easy. Go to a things, go to your service provider, ask for services, pay for those things only. So that's a pretty interesting thing which we have in cloud services provider. Let's move forward. So as I said, different cloud service providers are available. So Google is there, and let's just talk about the major cloud service provider. The very first one comes up here is Amazon. So AWS, Amazon is the first tool which is the organization which provide the cloud services here. And different others organizations are also there, but the famous one is Amazon, then Microsoft, then we are having Google, and then it's Alibaba, and then IBM. So these are the five major organizations who provide the cloud services, right? And that's the one thing, and they are the highly reliable resources or organizations too. But the question is still there, why we go for Google? We go for Google, sorry, we go for Google because Google is somewhere, it's pretty much easy to use. And of course, it's highly flexible and easy to use feature of Google Cloud provider here makes it much more, handy for the people of the organization. So that's the one, thing, one edge point we have for GCP, that's Google Service Provider. Let's move forward towards the further things, and that is the types of cloud. So different clouds are there. We have just talked about what is cloud computing and why we use it. Let's just talk about what are different types of cloud. So here in cloud computing, three different types of clouds are there: hybrid cloud, public cloud, and private cloud. So there are, whenever you are working in the organization, it depends on you that what services or what type of cloud you require in your organization. So let's move forward towards the very first kind of a cloud, that is the public cloud. See, public cloud is something which is highly available to everyone, right? There is no hidden privacy in this. It's like it's a server available to everyone. So, let's say you want to search for something. So, what's the weather today? So, you go to Google and you search for it, right? So, it's easily available to everyone, right? That's the public cloud. So, in an organization, you might have noticed sometimes, you do not want a privacy. You want everyone. Either someone belongs to your organization or doesn't belongs to your organization. Still, you want that particular information to be shared with everyone. In that case, you can make a public cloud. And similarly, there's a private cloud too. It's only limited to your organization. So some information, of course, does require the privacy. In that case, we go for the private cloud features here. Another one is about hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is a combination of both, where we have got public cloud and private cloud, and it's a combination of both where you want some privacy also, like you want some secure data also, it's your organizational data, and you want some information to be public, delivered to everyone in your organization or outside your organization too. So that's the different types of cloud which we have just discussed, the public, private, and hybrid clouds. Another thing here is cloud computing service model. It's a very important aspect of, for every service provider, every cloud service provider. Why? Because it's very important to understand what services cloud provides to you. So it is segregated in three different things, that is IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So first thing is infrastructure as service, that's your IaaS. Let's just discuss about them one by one. So it's a cloud service provided by your cloud provider. So either it's AWS, your Amazon, Microsoft, your Google, will provide these services. So what is infrastructure? Let's just take this example in a very layman language. So, infrastructure is something where you only require the sources. Let's say you only require network, virtual machines, but you have platform at your place. So see, whenever you are working on something, let's say you are creating a code, you are building something. For that, you require a platform, right? Different platforms are there, virtual boxes there, the Python library, the PyCharms, different tools are there where you code. That's the platform. Similar thing happens here. When you require infrastructure, let's say you already have platform in your organization, you only require services. In that case, you go for infrastructure as services where you only require network, storage, virtual machine, that's it. This is your infrastructure. You are asking for infrastructure. Another thing is platform as service. PaaS is something where you want the platform, where you need to build the things, right? You need to develop, you need to deploy, you need to test, you need these platforms, right, in your organization. Let's say in your organization, you already have the infrastructure, right? But what you require a platform where to perform, right? So that platform can also be provided by, with the help of a service provider. That's your platform as service, that is PaaS. And the last one is pretty much easy. It's like SaaS, software as services. Here, you do not want to maintain anything. You do not want platform. Let's say you have a small organization where you don't have platform, you don't have infrastructure. What do you want? You want everything to be maintained by the service provider. Let's just take this example. So let's say you want to eat pizza, right? The one way is you have platform, you have microwave, you have oven at your place, you have platform, but you do not have infrastructure, right? So for infrastructure, you need to go to market and buy. So in our example, if you want to eat pizza, you have oven, but you need to go to supermarket to buy infrastructure, to buy your toppings, to buy your pizza base, your sauces. And then when you buy, so of course, what I'm doing from service provider, I'm buying these services, I'm buying my toppings. After that, here is another one. So let's say you have got your toppings, but you don't have platform, you don't have microwave at your place. So you will go to someone and say, okay, please make this pizza for me, right? So you can ask for platform also. If you have service, ask for platform. If you have platform, ask for services, ask for infrastructure. And the last option is you do not need to maintain anything by yourself. Go to a restaurant, ask for cheeseburger pizza, and you are good to go. Right. So that's how software as service work. You are directly going to a service provider and asking, please give me infrastructure, please give me platform and maintain everything for me. I can't do it by myself. Like I don't want to waste my time in this. So that kind of thing we can do with the help of SaaS, and it's a complete free like not free exactly, but see here you're completely free from hassle, right? Everything is maintained by the service provider here. That's the one thing about SaaS here, and it's a pay as you go model. Whatever services you want, pay for those, and then you are good to go. That's how SaaS work. So these are the major services provided by the cloud, and these are same for all service providers. So that's the one update to give to everyone. Next, let's just move forward towards our topic, that's Google Cloud Platform, GCP. That if you are learning if you're learning cloud, then we need to start from Google. So let's say if you want to work with GCP, you want to start with Google. How does it look like? How does it work? What is GCP? So again, GCP is another cloud providing, services. So here, if you need storage, you want IoT. In fact, recently, GCP has added IoT features, Internet of Things, AI, whatnot, all different aspects, big data, big query, partly your different coding platforms are there. So it can connect, it can integrate to different platforms here. So that's how, GCP is growing in the market, because it's actually, inventing different areas where we can connect, we can integrate with the different platforms. So that's the one update here we are hiring from the GCP. So why we use GCP? As I said, it's easy to use. That's why we go forward towards it. And it's highly reliable and secure platform to use. That's about the quick introduction about GCP here. And let's just talk about some features of Google Cloud Platform. The very first one is on-demand service. So it's like 24 hours, 365 days available. Ask for your services and get it, right? Either it's day or night, evening, you can ask it and immediately you can see the services at your end. That's the one thing. Another one, it's a broad network access. As I said, 40% of network is being maintained by GCP. So it has a broad network access. Resource pooling, yes. What does this word resource pooling means? See, in different regions, there are different servers, right? So if one server, on all these servers are connected, let's say there is a region, and in that A region, there are 3 zones, right? And all these 3 zones are connected. So if one zone is not working, right? Let's say you are going to a service provider and you are asking for your services, but let's say your zone is not working. That will jump to another zone, right? So resource pooling, it means customer or you don't need to wait for your services, right? Even if there's a failure at their end, but still you don't need to wait for your things, right? This is what your resource pooling, because different zones are there in particular region. That's how the GCP works. Another one, rapid elasticity. As I said, it's highly scalable. At any time, you can increase or decrease your number of services. So there is no bar for that. Measured services, of course. So whatever services, it's like a pay as you go. As I said, that whatever services you are buying, pay for those services. That's the one thing, one interesting which we have for GCP. Another one here, it says GCP services. Now, different GCP services are there, whether it's your compute engines, your storage and databases, networking, big data. As you know that right now, a lot of data is being generated. Either it's your social media or it's your different platforms that is being maintained by GCP services also with the help of big data. Here we have got the security features, Internet of Things is there, your cloud AI, management tools, data transfer. So in fact, these are just a less number of services. In fact, many more services are provided by GCP here. And it's like you name it and you get it. That's how different services are provided by GCP. Okay, let's just see some interesting thing, with GCP. If you want to access, how you would access. So there is a quick lab, right? It's a cloud lab. It's a Google Cloud Platform lab where you can go and learn different courses too. I'll share this link over the chat also. You can try it. You can go ahead and try at your end too. But let's just see how does it look like. So see, this is the link. Here it says Google Cloud Skill Boost, and I will share this link over the chat. Okay, so you can have a look on this link. It's like a Google Cloud link where when you go on Pass, in fact, you can sign in. You can sign in with your Google ID. So you can just work towards this. It's an easy sign-in process. Click on sign in and join with GCP. So here, see here in the Google Cloud, it says Pass. In part, different learning. So let's say you want to search any particular course, let's say AI courses or generative AI courses. You can search for your courses and you can see different courses are available, right? Just click on them and read some videos and have a look on what is this particular thing about, what's this new thing, and in fact, different application, all other things you can see in the video format in the part section. And let's say you want to go for explore. When you click on explore, here you can perform different labs also, right? And instead of lab, you can see, you can do different courses too. Here you see, it says courses, it says featured, it says manage Kubernetes in Google Cloud. What is Kubernetes? Kubernetes is like a storage block. Different folders we have. So it's like a storage folder that's called as to be your Kubernetes. So you need to manage those things, how you manage those things. You click on this and you see it's a 5 hours course. And see, there is one thing. There is a limit in Google Cloud. So here it says 16 credits. So you need to, buy these credits. You need to buy those. Some courses are free. Some labs are free, but for some courses, of course, for many more courses, do you require the credits? You need to buy those credits with the help of subscriptions here. So that's the thing we are having in Google Cloud, where you go for subscription, you buy the things also. You can have a look on the subscription part too. So, and here when you go for explore, let's say you want to try some free, labs. So I'm gonna go for, there is one lab, it says tour to cloud, or let's say I'm gonna go for cloud fundamentals. And so see, here different, you go for Google Cloud Fundamentals, different cloud fundamental things are there. You can go, you can try these different courses. It's an introductory course here. So that's how you can perform, your explore here. Let's say I'm gonna go for create a virtual machine. If you need to create your own virtual machine, you can hit enter, search for it, hit enter. And once you hit enter, you can see this. Here it says it's a lab, it's a 40 minutes lab. And once you click on this, here it has the complete information. Okay, how you need to do this. It's a complete setup, how you can start, or and all the process, all complete processes there. How you can do these things, how you can create your own virtual machine, setting up the network, all these things you can perform. And of course, here if you see, it says 1 credit. So for everything, some labs are free, but some lab does have these credit feature here. So in my PPT, there is this lab. I'll share this lab link too. This lab is completely free. You see that it says no cost. So you can try this lab at your end too. I have just shared this link over the chat with everyone. Please have a look on this lab too. It says it's a 45 minutes lab where you will understand how does GCP work. It's a basic lab where you will see how a Google Cloud Platform work, how you can create projects, the API services, basic are there, just a introductory level, how GCP looks like. So that's the thing. And once we move forward towards the trading session, so we do provide a trading session for cloud computing with GCP. There we will see, virtual machine lab, the storage lab, how you can create virtual machine, how you can create storage. So there, of course, we provide all these labs to you to see how these different, platform, these different things work, in GCP. Let's say here, if we need to go for storage, so how we can create storage, says cloud storage API. So how you can create these storage, everything is there. A lot of labs are there, but of course, when we go for the training session, there we discuss some basic, labs, the introductory labs where we can perform the different things with the help of GCP. So this is your Google Cloud platform, and you can explore this platform at your end. You can hit and try different courses are there, and you can explore different labs too. Some free labs, of course, you can look forward to. And for free lab, it will say no cost, but for the one which requires subscription, it will say a credit. Like let's say 1 credit, 2 credit, a credit will be required here. So yeah, let's just move forward towards the slides again. So we have just discussed about some quick lab things, the tour of a Google Cloud we have just discussed. Here, next thing, it says Google's global network. So of course, we have just discussed this thing, but let's just see this in a form of a visualization too. So of course, in Google, it's like, as I said, 40% of the internet traffic is maintained and managed by Google network here. A lot of different regions, approximately 140 regions are there. And different regions, we have this particular platform to be providing you services. So either it's the UK region, US region, a lot more regions, are there where GCP works. And here, different sources. So of course, as I said, there's a different zone feature, right? In particular region, there are different zones, let's say 2 zones, 3 zones. So if one zone is not working, it can jump to the another one just for the better resource provider. So that's the one thing, for providing better resources to you, we generally work on this thing. Another one about the storage and services. So of course, when you talk about storage, different storage features are there whether you talk about the compute engines, the networking. See, in networking, generally your virtual machines comes up, right? Whenever you're working on the virtual things, whenever you want to buy the virtual machines, you go for the networking part. But whenever you want to work on the larger set of data, you go for big data or big query, right? When you talk about big data, it works on your, your Hadoop, these kind of services, these kind of platform. But when you talk about big query is like your AI, ML. They generally work on your, machine learning side. So that's the difference between the big query and big data, platform or storage services provided. And of course, we have a separate machine learning features too, where all your services, let's say, whatever, training transfers you are creating for the machine, that will be stored over your machine learning process. So that's the thing. In fact, under storage, cloud storage, cloud SQL, cloud spanner, data store, big table, a lot of storage features are again available, in the cloud storage too. And the last, we are having the operation tools too. So this is about the storage, in the Google Cloud. And these different services are provided. In fact, many more services, as I said, are provided by GCP. It's just we need to pick what we are looking forward to. So this is just something which we look forward towards. And of course, different aspect. As I said, there's a security aspect too, where we talk about the authentication and authorization. There is a complete module for security also. And that's how we work forward towards the GCP here. So I would like to thank everyone for joining this particular webinar. I want to know that if you guys have any question for me regarding this webinar from Quick Lab or from any topic, any questions for me from here.
Thanks, Tanya. So I think I'm looking at questions. There's a question: how GCP is better or different from Amazon Cloud? I can start with that, and Tanya, feel free to add to it. There is a whole discussion which we can have about the different cloud providers. Amazon definitely has almost like a decade of lead. It started much earlier than Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud, so they have much broader set of offerings, the most robust, most matured, if you were to say. But if I were to pick the strengths of Google, remember, Google is a search company. It has worked with data and search all its life, right? It knows how scale works. So that's the strength of Google. And if you look at some of the big things happening in the industry, the Kubernetes, which is in the Docker containerization space, it's Google's offering. If we look at more of the TensorFlow option in the machine learning AI space, now obviously GenAI is coming and they're bringing in Gemini as well. So the two areas, the big areas in the industry are AI and containerization. Both of them, the core product is actually come from Google. It's open sourced, but that is their strength. There are finer points, the pricing point compared to AWS. There are security. I think it's at least claimed by Google. It's much more secure compared to what Amazon offers, and so on and so forth, at different levels of encryption. There is a whole series of discussions. There are some points which highlight Google. It's always debatable because each cloud provider definitely claims that they are the best and they have the most robust and so on and so forth. But there is always one doesn't fit all. Another angle, if I were to add to this, is like certain companies or certain sectors will never go to Amazon. For example, retail sector is completely against, like Walmart will never pick up Amazon as a cloud because they're competitors, as simple as that, right? So that way, healthcare is also skeptical about Amazon. So those are various dimensions which make options for Google and Microsoft Azure a much more lucrative option compared to Amazon. There's a lot of dynamics to think about. So just a few thoughts to bring into that question. But that's a good question. That's a great question, actually. I wanted to just bring in a few more resources. I'm going to share that in the chat. Feel free to add any questions you'll have, but also just wanted to add one top of what Tanya has already brought in. So let me share the screen. And some of you would be curious about the subscription and the credits we had been talking about. A little bit of history of Google Cloud Skills Boost at Google, what they have. It was a company called as Quick Labs, and that's why we still keep on using the name Quick Labs. Google bought that company. When Google bought it, 90% of the labs, they were mostly lab providers, exercise on the cloud without having an instance and all of that. You can create very easily, which that's their strength right now as well. 90% or even more was Amazon related stuff. But Google bought this company and then they have transformed it, and they had both AWS and things for a while, but now it's largely focused. It's flipped on the other side. It's majority, vast majority. I don't think there are any exclusive AWS labs. If it is coming from a Google context, BigQuery is one of the biggest, one of the most popular, arguably, pro component or service they provide. How that can sit with AWS. So that correlation, but direct AWS is not much left. Directly introduction to AWS or getting started, that's not there. But this is a great resource to learn about Google Cloud or in general cloud. There are a lot of similarities in different clouds. So that is there. As Tanya was pointing out, there are labs and courses, badges. There are a lot of things they have evolved, but the labs are really great. Talking about the subscription, there are a few different options. They have a monthly subscription of $29. Then you have access to all the labs, courses, and so on and so forth. You can purchase the monthly thing. You can, obviously, when you purchase the annual one, you get discount. And there are a few definitely interesting things. A certificate voucher, $229 you buy and you get a $200 worth of one certification voucher as well. So there's a lot which comes in if you take the annual subscription, if you are sure if that's the route which you want to do. There is one other way which you can buy credits. So there is this, if you're interested in buying individual credits, you don't want to commit for a monthly or an annual thing. You just are interested in taking a course which has 5 things, it will just literally tell you this $5. So typically it's $1 per credit. But as you go for 100 credits, I think it starts giving discount the more you give anything. But at the same time, there is an expiry date. I think it's 6 months, which you can use. So be careful, do not buy unnecessarily too many things. But as you saw, it's $95. You might be better off just taking a monthly subscription, couple of months. I mean, up to you, I think, depending on what you're doing. But some of the people had that question. So just wanted to clarify on the cost of it as well. Checking in if there are other questions. I shared a bunch of resources. So what we have is different meetup groups. You'll have come through different meetup groups, or even Bright or different formats which you have come through. We have different groups. You can sign up to those. As mentioned, this will go into our YouTube channel. So there are past recordings which you must be seeing. We'll add this one as well to it. This was almost like a brief introduction to cloud computing and GCP. We offer a lot of public trainings which are in-depth, but a fast crash course. You don't need to go for months and months. Very compact course, a day, 2 day, mostly which we try to keep in. And this is the upcoming related one, the cloud computing with GCP, where we'll be doing a lot of hands-on, a lot of labs, and cover a wide range of topics. You can get enrolled, and we have a detailed curriculum and all those things available. It's coming up next month. So feel free to see if that is of interest to you. We also have e-learning courses where you can take directly e-learning courses. We're going to change the model into subscription. It's going to be much more cheaper. It's going to happen in a few weeks. We're going to change into more subscription model. We're thinking around $7 to $10. So you'll get access to everything on a monthly subscription, similar model what Google was showing. But we have a lot of different interesting courses, hands-on tutorials, and so on and so forth, where you can go deeper into that. All of our webinars will be posted here. So you have this links which are posted. You can go and check out our past recordings if you're interested in any interesting topics, GitHub, Copilot, Power BI, a lot of AI related stuff which we do. That's our core strength, data and AI related stuff. So all of that is available. Just wanted to share those resources and bring that for everybody to share. So we are going to, in terms of content, that's about it. If you want to reach out to us, feel free to reach out to us in any of those formats which Tanya mentioned. You can reach out to us on an email, website, and so on and so forth. I'm going to open up the forum for question answers if anybody wants to talk verbally. But in terms of content, we're done. Thank you much, Tanya, for driving the session. Brief, compact session, but giving a lot of good coverage and hopefully some tips to get started. Definitely look out for some of these Google Quick Labs. There are a lot of good resources there. You'll find several free courses without even subscribing. You can get a lot done. And they all keep on coming up with new courses and learning paths, especially right now. There is a lot of buzz around generative AI. There is a whole course or path which is completely free. At least it was. I don't know if it's changed in the last some time period of time. But if you see, let me do a search. So generative AI was is buzz around the globe, but also in the Google space of things. So I think several of these courses were completely free. So I'm just going to go there. No cost, as you see. So you can cover a lot of ground with just free courses here. And so they are definitely, like anybody, supporting, and they're definitely one of the leaders in the space. Right? Good coverage, LLMs, responsible AI, that's important, ethics, and so on and so forth, which they've brought in. So I'll put this link as well in the chat in case anybody's interested. So with that, we are in terms of the content. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for the kind words. Several thanks coming in already in the chat. If you have any questions, hang in there. We'll be the last people to close. But if not, have a good rest of the day, evening, depending on where you are. So we'll stop the recording.